Hello Python programmers, welcome back to another video in Python tutorials with Arshad. So far in our journey of Python tutorials, we had seen what are variables in Python. We had completed these first 5 data types, which are int, float, complex, boolean and strings. And we had discussed about these operators in Python. We had completed all of these operators in Python, which are arithmetic operators, bitwise operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, logical operators, identity operators and membership operators. Now in this video, we will quickly revise all of these operators once again so that it will be helpful for you to remember these operators for a long time. Now before starting this video, if you are new to my YouTube channel Programming with Arshad, then do subscribe to my channel on clicking the subscribe button and also hit this bell icon to get latest updates. Save this playlist by clicking on this button. I am going to add all of my Python tutorials in this playlist only. Now without wasting time, first of all I am opening my IDLE. Now in this pic you can see here these are the arithmetic operators present in Python. These arithmetic operators are used to perform common mathematical operations. Now we will see here, if I say 5 plus 9, it has returned me 14. This plus operator is used to perform addition. As we know, this minus operator is used to perform subtraction. And this star is used to perform multiplication. And this forward slash is used to perform division. And this percent symbol is used to perform modulus operation. If I say 10% 7, it will return me 3 because this modulus operator will divide both the numbers and it will return the remainder value. If we divide 10 by 7, then we will get remainder as 3. And we can use this exponential operator to find the power. You can see if I say 10 power 2, it has returned me 100. Now this double forward slash is used to perform floor division. The only difference between this division and floor division is that the output format of normal division will be in float and the output format of floor division will be in integers. Now these are the arithmetic operators present in Python. Now we will see our next operators, which are assignment operators. As we had already discussed, these assignment operators are used to assign values to variables. These are the assignment operators present in Python. Now here I am declaring a variable named a, and by using this equal to symbol I am assigning the value of 10 to this variable. Now if I use this addition assignment operator, it will add both the values of a and 40 and it will assign the added value to the variable a. I am hitting enter and if I say a now, it has returned me 50 because it will perform addition among both the operands and it will assign the added value to the left operand, which is a in our case. So we had got 50 in this case. Similarly, we have subtraction assignment operator, multiplication assignment operator, division assignment operator, modulus assignment operator, and similarly you can perform the same thing with bitwise operators also. We had seen all of these things and we had tried all of these things with example in our previous video. If you want to, you can go and check there once again. Now finally we can conclude that this addition assignment operator, subtraction assignment operator will perform operation on both sides of the operands and it will assign the value to the left operand. Now we will see comparison operators. Comparison operators are used to compare two values. These are the comparison operators present in Python, which are equal, not equal, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. For example, I am declaring here a variable named a and I am assigning a value of 50 to this variable. Again I am declaring a variable named b, I am assigning a value of 100 to this variable. If I say a is greater than b, then it will return as false because 50 is not greater than 100. If I say a is less than b, then it will return as true. If I say a not equal to b, then it will return as true because the value of a and b are not equal. If I say a equal to b, then it will return as false because the value of a and b both are different. These are the comparison operators. Now we can also observe here that the output format of arithmetic operators is integer. And there will be no output for assignment operators. It will simply assign values to a variable. And the output format of comparison operator will be boolean. It will return always true or false. Now we will see these logical operators in Python. Logical operators are used to combine conditional statements. There are only 3 logical operators in Python, which are and, or, not. Now we can see here with an example. If I say a is greater than 100 and b is greater than 10, you can see it is returning as false because a is not greater than 100. The value of a is 50 and 50 is not greater than 100. Now if I try the same thing with OR operator, then you can see here it will return us true, because one condition is correct here, which is b is greater than 10. With this we can finally say that the only difference between logical AND operator and logical OR operator is if both the conditions are correct, then only this logical AND operator will return true, otherwise it will return false. And in case of logical OR operator, if any one of the condition is correct among the two conditions, then it will return true. If both the conditions are false, then this OR operator also will return as false only. Now we will see this NOT operator. If the condition given inside NOT operator is true, it will return false, or else it will return true. Now I am giving here a true condition, which is a is greater than 100 or b is greater than 10, and I am hitting enter. You can see it has returned as false. Now we know that a is greater than 100 and b is greater than 10 is a false condition. I am just copying and pasting. If I hit enter, then you can see here it is returning as true. From this we can say that if the condition given inside NOT operator is true, then it will return false. If the condition given inside NOT operator is false, then it will return true. Now finally we can say that if we use logical operators, then the output format will be boolean. Now we will see what are identity operators in Python. Before getting into these identity operators, first of all we will learn about an inbuilt function named id in Python. Now I am declaring here a variable named a, and I am assigning a value of 20 to this variable. I am again declaring a variable named b, and I am assigning a value of 10 to this variable b. Now I am again assigning a variable named c, and I am again assigning value of 20 to this variable c. Now finally I am declaring a variable named b, and I am just giving value of a to this variable d. And now to find the memory location of that variable, we can use this id function present in Python. If I say id of a, then you can see it has returned me a number. This is the location where variable a is stored. If I say id of b, then you can see that it has returned me some other number, because the value of a and b are different. If I say id of c, here we had given same value to variable a and variable b. So the memory location of variable a and variable b are same. You can see this from here. Now we will see for d. You can see here for d also the memory location is same, because the value of d is nothing but a in our case. Now here I am declaring a variable named a, and I am assigning a value of 500 power 10 to this variable. Now if I print a, this is the value of a actually, which is 500 power 10. Now again I am declaring a variable named b, and I am assigning a value of again 500 power 10 to this variable. Now if I say a equal to b, as we know that it will return true, because both the values of a and b are same. If I say a is b, and then it will return as false. Comparison equality operator will consider only the value. This identity is operator will also consider the memory location. Just now we had discussed about this id inbuilt function in Python, which is used to get memory location of a variable. If I say id of a, then you can see here we had got some value here. Now if I say id of b, then you can see here we had got different value. This is the reason why we got a is b as false. Finally, we can conclude that this is operator will return true if both the variables are of same object, and it should belong to same memory location, and also it should have same value. Now this is not identity operator is quite opposite to this is operator, as we know. Now that's all about these identity operators. Now we will see what are membership operators present in Python. Actually yesterday we had discussed about these membership operators, which are in and not in. Now for quick revision, I am declaring a variable named var1, and I am assigning a string of Python to this variable. Now if I say n in var1, you can see it is returning as true, because this character n is present in this variable var1. If I say g in var1, you can see it is returning as false, because this character g is not present in this string Python, and this not in is quite opposite to this in membership operator. Now finally we will see what are these bitwise operators in Python. Actually these bitwise operators are somewhat complex, so I will explain each and every bitwise operator with an example with the help of my notepad file. Bitwise operators are used to compare binary. In previous video also we had discussed that bitwise operators are in previous videos also we had discussed that bitwise operators deals with binary numbers. In previous videos also we had discussed that bitwise operators deals with binary numbers. Now we will see what is the difference between these all bitwise operators. Now I am opening my IDLE once again. Here I am declaring a variable named A and I am assigning a value of 7 to this variable A. Again I am declaring a variable named B and I am assigning a value of 6 to this variable B. Now if I say, now first of all we will try this bitwise AND operator. Now before hitting enter, first of all we will solve this in our notepad. Now before hitting enter, first of all we will solve this in our notepad. As we already know that this BIN inbuilt method is used to find the as we already know that this BIN inbuilt method is used to convert decimal numbers into binary numbers. So I am just converting my variables A and B into binaries. So I am just converting my variables A and B into decimal number. So here I am just converting my decimal numbers into binary numbers. Now I am opening my notepad file. Now first of all now here we had declared the value of 7 to variable A and the equivalent binary number for 7 is 111. Now we had assigned a value of 7 to variable A and equivalent binary number for 7 is 111. As we know, we got this using this binary function. And we had assigned a value of 6 to this variable B and the equivalent binary number for variable B is 110. Now first of all we will see for binary AND operation, which is A and B. Now first of all we will see what is bitwise AND operation. All of these bitwise AND or NOT operations perform addition with binary numbers. Before starting this, first we will understand a point, which is before getting into this, first of all we will know this bitwise and bitwise OR and bitwise NOT. All of these three bitwise Before starting this, first of all we will understand one thing, which is this bitwise and bitwise OR and bitwise NOT. All these three operators perform addition of binary numbers. Now in case of bitwise AND operator, as we had already discussed that in case of bitwise AND operators, if both the bits are 1, then it will return 1, otherwise it will return 0. Now here both the bits are 0, so it will return 0, and in this case both the bits are 1, so it will return 1, and in this case also both the bits are 1, so it will return 1, and in this case one bit is 0, and now in this final case one bit is 0, so it will return 0. and the equivalent binary number and the equivalent decimal number for this binary number 0110 is 6. Now we will see. Now here if I say A and B, you can see here we got 6 here. Now we will see for OR operation. Now we will see bitwise OR operation. In this OR, if any one of in in this bitwise OR, if any one of the bit is 1, then it will return 1. So in our first case, both the bits are 0. So we will in our first case, both the bits are 0, so we will get 0 here. And in our second case, both the bits are 1, so we will get 1. In our third case also, both the bits are 1, so we will again get 1. In our last case, one bit is 1 and other bit is 0. If in this bitwise OR operation, if any one of the bit is 1, then it will return 1. You can see in our first case, both the bits are 0, so we will get 0. In our second case, both the bits are 1, so we will get 1. In our third case also, we will get 1, so because both the bits are 1. In our fourth case also, we will get 1 here one bit is present. Now we will see. Now we will check out this. If I say here A or B, you can see it has returned 7, and the equivalent binary number for this decimal binary number is 7. Now we will see what is bitwise NOT operation. If I say A, now we will see about this bitwise OR operation. Now we will see about this bitwise NOT operation. In this bitwise NOT operation, if both the bits are same, then it will return 1, otherwise it will return 0. In our first case, both the bits are same, that is both the bits are 0, so it will return 1. In our next case, both the bits are same. In our second case, both the bits are same, so it will return 1. In our third case also, both the bits are same, so it will return 1. In our last case, both the bits are different. In our last case, both the bits are different, so it will return 0. And the equivalent decimal number for this binary number is 1, 2 plus 4 plus 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we will see what is this XOR operation. Now we will see what is this XOR operation. If in this XOR operation, in this XOR operation, if both the bits are different, then only it will return 1. Otherwise, it will return 0. In our first case, both the bits are same, so it will return 0. In our next case also, both the bits are same, so it will return 0. In our third case also, both the bits are same, and it will return 0. In our last case, one bit is 1 and other bit is 0, so it will return 1. And the equivalent decimal number for this binary number is and the equivalent decimal number for this binary number is 1. We can check out this here. If I say A XOR B, then you can see it has returned as 1. Now we will see what are left shift and right shift operators. Now here again if I say 14 left shift 1, you can see we got 28. Now we will see why we got 28 here. Now here if I say now the equivalent decimal number for this 14, now the binary number for this 14 is 1110. If I say 14 left shift 1, then it will shift all of the bits towards, as we said 14 left shift 1, it will shift one bit towards left side, which means this one will goes to this side. As we had said 14 left shift 1, it will add 1 0 to the right side. So we will finally get somewhat like this. From this we got this because it has added, as we said 14 left shift 1, it will add, if we say 14 left shift 1, then it will add 1 0 towards right side. So the binary number will become like this, and the equivalent decimal number for this binary number is 28. Now we will see this right shift operator. If I say 14 right shift 1, then you can see it has returned me 7, because this 14 right shift 1, because this 14 right shift 1 will shift all bits towards right side. So this one will comes to this side, and this one will comes to this side, and this one will comes to this one's place. So this one will goes to this zero's place, and this one, as we say 14 right shift 1, it will shift all of the bits towards right side once. As we said 14 right shift 1, so it will shift all of the bits towards right side one time. So we will get somewhat like this, and the equivalent binary number for this is 7, which means here we can simply say that from this binary number these three ones are transferred. Here we can finally we can say that from this 14 this 0 is removed, because the one from here is transferred towards. Finally we can say that this 0 is removed because this 1 is transferred to this 0's place. Now we will see the remaining lost operator, which is negation operator. If I say now the remaining lost operator is binary not Now the last operator, now the last bitwise operator is not operator. Now the last bitwise operator is not operator. If I say not 14, then you can see it return me minus 15. But why? We will solve this. Here you can see that for negation 14 we got minus 15. But computer won't store negative values. This not operator will simply reverse all the bits. Now for 14 the binary number is 1 1. For decimal number 14 the equivalent binary number is 1110. As we say that it will revert all the bits, so the value of negation 14 is 11110001. As I had already told that this not 14 will reverse all the bits, so this first 0 will become 1 and 1 will become zeros. So here zeros will become 1 and ones will become zeros. Now what is this number and why we got minus 15 here? So first of all we will see. Now first of all we will find the binary number for minus 15. Now computer won't store negative values. Here computer won't store negative values. Before getting into this we must here computer won't store negative values, but we can find the value of before getting into this we must learn a concept of 2's complement. Now to get the answer we must perform 2's complement for this number 15. If I say as you can see here we got minus 15. We must find the 2's complement of this number 15. The equivalent. Now if you don't know 2's complement, don't worry, I will teach you what is 2's complement. The equivalent binary number for decimal number 15 is 00001111. Now first of all we will find 1's complement of 15. One's complement means nothing but it will return. One's complement means nothing but it will changes all the bits. One's complement means nothing but if there is 0 it will. One's complement means nothing but it will change the zeros into ones and ones into zeros. Now we will find as I had already told that we must find 2's complement. Here 2's complement is nothing but 1's complement plus 1. Finally, this is the formula to find 2's complement. Now we know that this is the value for 1's complement. Now if I add 1 to this 1's complement, then I will get the value of 2's complement. Now we know that 0 plus 1 1, 0 plus 1 1. Now here I am adding 1's complement with 1. So I will get, so in first case I will get 1 0 plus 1 as 1, and then in this case I will get 0, and in this case also. So now I am here adding 1's complement with 1, so that, as we already know that the formula for 2's complement is 1's complement plus 1. Now if I add this, now here I am adding this 1's complement with 1. We know that 0 plus 1 is 1, and the remaining bits will. So if I add this 1's complement with 1, I will get answer like this. This only one bit will be changed, and this, if I add this 1's complement with 1, I will get answer like this. The last bit will be changed into 1. In this case, if I add 1's complement with 1, the last bit will be changed into 1, and I will get answer like this. Now if we can see here, this answer is similar to this answer which we got as 14's complement. Now here you can see that the 2's complement of 15 is equal to not 14. Now you can try for more. Now you can try this for more numbers. You can say for not 11, and you can say you got minus. Now if I say not 11, I got minus 12 here, which means the 2's complement of 12 will be equal to the, which means the 2's complement of 12 will be equal to the binary number of not 11. Now in this case I got minus 12, which means the 2's complement of minus 12 will be equal to 1's complement of 11. So finally we can conclude that, so finally we can say that to find, so finally we can say that the 2's complement of 15. So in this case of not operator, we must find the 2's complement. Here you can see that the 2's complement of 15 is equal to not 14. As we got output of negation 14 as, so finally we can conclude that we got output for negation 14 as minus 15, and the 2's complement of 15 is equal to, So finally we can conclude that the 2's complement of 15 is equal to 1's complement of 14. So we got minus 14. Finally we can conclude that the 2's complement of 15 is equal to 1's complement of 14. So we got minus 15 for this negation 14. And that's all in this video guys. We had revised all of these operators present in Python. Okay guys, that's all in this video. We had revised all the operators in Python once again. Okay guys, that's all in this video. We had revised all of the operators present in Python once again so that you will be able to remember this for a long time. And I will see you next time with another amazing video. Okay guys, that's all in this video. I hope you had understood all of these operators in Python. If you like this video, then share this playlist of Python tutorials with Arsha to your friends. Okay guys, that's all in this video. If you like this video, then share this playlist of Python tutorials with Arsha to your friends so that they also can learn Python programming. And thank you for watching till end. I will see you next time with another amazing video. Bye bye.